Welcome to The Secret Place with Bennett, devotions for hungry hearts and searching souls.
Hi there, friends. It's Steffa in The Secret Place. I'm so glad to see you again. I'm so glad to be here. I just want to give a shout out to my husband, Earl, who's always helping me with these and putting the camera up and the lighting up. He's such a doll and such a support. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about spiritual friendship, and I think that's probably why I mentioned my husband, because I don't know that you could last as long as we have for all these years without being spiritual friends. And I want to talk about that today in light of the Bennett book. I talked to you about last time, Sacred Companions. This is a very short passage about spiritual friends. What's a spiritual friend? How is a spiritual friend different from any other kind of friend or acquaintance? We're going to talk about it. Spiritual friends nurture the development of each other's soul. Their love for each other translates into a desire that the other settle for nothing less than becoming all that he or she was intended to be. What they offer each other in response to this desire is not a professional role, nor is it specialized expertise. Rather, it is the gift of themselves and their companionship on the transformational journey of Christian spirituality. Spiritual friends are soul friends. This means they care for each other as whole people, not simply as spiritual beings. Soul friends become spiritual friends when they seek to help each other attend to and respond to God. End of quote. One of the most cherishable and important parts of my life, my whole life long, has been to have spiritual friends. And I don't take that for granted. I have a lot of friends that I cherish, who aren't especially spiritual friends. We don't sit and talk about the things of the Spirit all the time, but I do have several spiritual friends who have helped me along, and we've mentored each other in a way. We've opened up our hearts and our souls to each other and become vulnerable. And some of you have said to me, "Oh, how do I get that, Steph? Where can I find spiritual friends?" I know, I don't think it's easy. It's not easy. I mean, I think there were other times in history where it was much easier to talk about spiritual things and people could develop spiritual friends, and probably because many other subjects were taboo. But now it seems like anything goes, and it's easier to hide behind that anything. You know, the distractions and the entertainment, the TV shows and the work. It's easy to hide behind those things and not open up and bring out our questions about God, our questions about spirit, our concerns and our questions about how we're walking out our own life. And one thing I find that I rarely, if ever, do is, and I've talked about this before in The Secret Place, I don't like to talk about the spiritual friendship that my husband and I have. It's like tender to me, and it's so special and precious to me that it's like, I don't want to share it with anybody else. It's like mine and his. And I don't think there's anything wrong about that, by the way. I don't feel guilty about that. I just want to explain why I don't normally talk about him. And even my very deepest, closest friends, girlfriends, with whom I have that kind of spiritual friendship, it's like, I don't know, like I love this format, this kind of public format to share some things, but then when you get, at least for me, and maybe this is an area of growth for me that I need to grow in, I don't know, I'm just trying to be honest and real right now about spiritual friendship. I save certain things for that very close inner circle of spiritual friends in my life, because I know that they'll handle with care what I have to share, what I have to say. And even when you do that, even when you limit the kind of depth of sharing and vulnerability to 3 or 4 people or 5 people in your life, a few people in your life, still you are opening yourself up to risk of being hurt, being left alone, being forgotten, being stabbed in the back. People are people. Even our closest friends whom we trust, we're all frail, we're all human. And then we all can hurt each other inadvertently, not even knowing that we hurt each other. So all that to say, when you ask, when you call, when you write or leave a comment and say, I'm lonely for spiritual friends, Stephanie, how do I find them? Let me encourage you, beyond the fact that it's a challenge, let me encourage you in this. Spiritual friends are not just found in church. Spiritual friends can be found anywhere. You might find some or one in your neighborhood. You might find one at work, in the workplace. You might find someone at home among your family. You never know who might become a spiritual friend. And I think what's important to do to let those relationships develop is to not push away anyone that you might think, oh, well, they wouldn't want to talk about things of the Spirit, or they don't want to go there. Or even someone who, like we talked last time about being a Christian spirituality versus just human spirituality, that everyone has a spirit. You might find someone in your neighborhood who is Jewish or of a different faith, or even no faith, or very, very little faith. And you develop a friendship and are able then to maybe start talking about God and how on your journey and their journey, what they experience, the struggles, the concerns, the disappointments, the joys, the moments of true presence, and find that that person can become a spiritual friend. It's just really interesting how God made us all. He made us for each other. I know you must be tired of hearing me say that. I say that at least once a month in these little Secret Place videos. But really and truly, if you don't have a spiritual friend, it's okay to lament about that. But let's move forward from lamentation about what we don't have and begin to be proactive, looking with eyes wide open, a heart wide open, hands open, ready to receive without judgment someone who might come your way. Hey, it might be someone who needs you to bring them a meal each week. It might be someone that you hear about who has an ailment where they can't read, or they're foggy brained, or they're getting on in years and can't get around as much, and maybe you can go and visit them. And you are doing something kind and wonderful in service to them and loving them, not expecting anything in return, and then a spiritual friendship can emerge. They can happen anywhere. And believe me when I say, it is the sweet wine of life to be able to have that person that you can call, that person you know is praying for you. They don't have to be older and your mentor. You don't have to be their mentor. Spiritual friendship, walking side by side along this journey of life. It's a good thing. Keep it when you have it. Share it and go for it. Okay? Thanks so much for listening today. I'll look to see you again in the Secret Place next time. In the meantime, please leave a comment or DM me or give me a call if you know me, and we can chat about this further. Life. It's wonderful. Go for it.
Breathe, listen, and receive. Take a moment to soak it all in. Until next time.